So I had the worst experiences today with a few customer service reps. And let me tell you, the sassiness and the dismissive tone that I was getting was just, it was so much. It was so much. And me always trying to keep things on the lighter side and everything, I tried to be nice. I really tried to be nice. But it's like when somebody don't want to be nice, nothing that you do is ever going to make them respond to that. And this thing was, I was calling because I was having an issue with a service that I was paying for. But they were acting like I was begging them. Like, excuse me, I'm paying for this service that I'm calling because I have an issue for. So why am I being treated like I'm begging you something? And again, me trying to keep things light and everything, while we were waiting on something to load, I tried to lighten the mood by asking the rep, hey, where are you from? Like, where are you located? And like, what's the best thing about that place? And the answer that I got from the rep was like the most basic answer I could ever get from anyone about the place that they're from. And he said, oh, I'm in Virginia. We get all 4 seasons. Like, what? What kind of response is that? I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done trying. I'm not even going to try anymore. I'm done. We'll just sit here in silence because obviously I'm bothering you. Like, this is not your job at all. I'm bothering you and you'd rather be doing something else. And it's like, this person went through a very tedious hiring process. This is what I'm assuming for this job, right? And they pretended the whole time that, hey, I'm the perfect person for this job. And they got it because, hey, I'm speaking to them at this company. So they got this job. And the only person that they're really torturing is themselves. Because every morning that they have to do this job, they get up and they're like, oh, I got to do this job. I got to do this job. I got to do this job. I got to make this money. I really hate this job, but I got to do this job. And that pep talk that they give themselves, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because one, the money is not worth it. Two, they hate the job. And three, it's like, it's wasting their time. So they get angry. And they get angry, and that anger that they feel, especially if they're in customer relations and they have to deal with people and try to help solve people's issues, that anger that they exude on everyone who they come in contact with, some people like myself will try to steer that anger in a direction where it's not so heavy, and it's like, hey, let me try to lighten the mood and lighten the experience here because I understand that you may be going through some things and it's not directed at me. I'm just feeling the after effects of it, But there are some people who will give that anger back to you. And when they give that anger back to you, and more people will give that anger back to you, you go home and you're like, oh my gosh, I had a shitty day. Why? Because people were giving anger back to you. So you blame that person for being angry and for being nasty, when the person that you should be blaming is yourself. Because you're the one who started this anger process in the first place. You're angry about the job and you go to the job and that anger exudes and everyone that deals with you feels that anger. Again, some people give it back. Some people it's just like, I'm just going to try to change this and bring this somewhere else. But those that give it back, you now think crazy of them, right? But it's not that. It's you who started the anger, and you should be blaming yourself because you know you have so much potential. You have so much potential that this job is wasting your time and you'd rather be doing something else. But instead of going after that thing that you want to do, you decided to play it safe. And the more you play it safe, the more anger you store up. The more you just feel like you're wasting your life. And that's what you're going to go around, and that's what you're literally going to spread onto other people. And when you're spreading that, guess what? It's coming back to you. It is coming back to you. And you may not understand why this is all happening, because you're just mad that you're in a shitty job and that you applied for this job and they're not paying you well, right? And the thing is, if you tried to do something else that just made you happy, just for a little second of the day, that in itself is going to make you feel a whole lot better. But again, you're stuck on the anger. And you don't understand that that anger that you're feeling is literally your body screaming at you and telling you to stop. Like, just stop. Obviously, it's not working for you. You're not getting paid enough. It's a waste of your time. Your body is screaming, stop. But do you listen? No, because you don't speak your body language. You don't. And you go through life, you ignore this anger that you're feeling. You're like, oh, I don't understand why I'm feeling this way. I don't get it. Your body is literally telling you, hey, you don't like this. You're not going to like this. And you're never, ever going to like this. Please stop. Please go do something else that you like. Please go do something else that you like. But guess what? You don't listen. You don't listen because you don't know how to listen. You don't even know that your body is trying to talk to you. How do you start listening to your body? Like, your body has a whole language that is it's communicating with you. How do you listen if you don't know what to listen for? And it all starts with your emotions. Your emotions are the first way that your body is going to tell you that something is either wrong, hey, this is okay, keep going, or no, stop right now. Don't do it to yourself. And when you ignore your emotions and you keep going and you hope and you hope and you hope that things will get better and everything will be different, and you're hoping and you ignore your body language that it's telling you that it's not going to work out, guess what? It doesn't work out. And then you become more angry. And it just continues this whole cycle of anger and anger and anger. And it's like, I remember once I was going on a trip. I was going on a trip to California. And I had to drive. And it's not a weird thing for me to drive to California because, I usually do some long driving. But this time, I was so caught off by this. Like, I started crying instantly when they were like, hey, you're going to California. Like, tears instantly. I am crying. I am bawling. I am so confused as to why I'm crying. I don't even know why I'm crying, but I just know that, hey, I don't want to go. I don't want to go, and I'm going to cry, and I'm going to cry, and I'm going to cry. And the lucky thing is that the trip got canceled within like an hour. So I didn't really have to go. And immediately after, I felt better. Like, I wasn't even crying at all. And it every time I think about it, I'm just like, wow, if that's not a case of my body telling me, hey, this is not your turn to go to California, just, you need to stay put. If I didn't listen to that, or if that trip didn't get canceled and I went against that initial feeling and drove to California anyways, I'm pretty sure I would have cried all the way there and probably all the way back. And not understanding why I'm crying, because I'm not understanding that my body is saying, no, don't go. And we normally look at these negative emotions as just, oh, they're just negative and you're just being dramatic, and it's nothing to think about, but it's your body telling you something that you can't see, because Your body's amazing. It detects things that you don't even know what's going on. And it tries to tell you through your emotions. Like the first way it's trying to tell you. And the thing is, it's going to get worse until you finally get it. Because that anger that you feel, that anger that person feels for having that job that they don't like, they're just going to get angrier and angrier and angrier and angrier and not understand why. And until one day where the anger hit a certain level and they're just like, nope, not doing it anymore. Then it changes. And that's what you really have to listen to. And it's like that strange feeling that you feel. Sometimes it's also your gut telling you, hey, something ain't right here. Don't do this. Don't do this. And what was the last situation that you were in that you knew it was going to go sideways, but instead of doing something about it and letting it go, you held on to it, even though deep down, you know that something's not right here, but I'm gonna stay and try to figure out what's not right so I can probably fix it. And your body is like, it doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. You're wasting your time. You ever had that feeling? And then when you go against that feeling, it always turns out bad. And then when you listen to that feeling, on the rare occasions that you do listen to that feeling, later on down the road, you realize what went wrong. And also what happened because you listened to that feeling. Because the good situation that happened on the road because you're like, I'm going to listen to my gut feeling here and go with that decision and walk away from this. You're going to realize that, hey, my body wasn't trying to steer me the wrong way. And I'm happy that I listened to it. But how many times do you really listen to it? I remember this situation that I was in. I was in a car with a friend, no longer a friend. And we were planning something. And I just had a very bad feeling that, it wouldn't work out. It wouldn't work out. It wouldn't work out. And I was like, what do I know? It could possibly work out. I mean, I hope it does. I mean, let's just see if it works out. Because, there are different factors here that I can, put in to make this work. And I'm going to make this work. It didn't work out. It ended horribly. Like, horribly. Like, there's still repercussions from that ending. And I ignored my gut feeling. I ignored it because I hoped the situation would turn out good. It didn't. My gut was trying to tell me. My early warning system, because that's basically what it is. It's like the emergency system, like, hey, no, don't do it. You are going to regret this. You are really going to regret this. Please don't do it. Oh, God damn it, she did it. She did it. Okay, how are we going to fix this? Well, she going to have to deal with the consequences first, and then we try to fix it. And it's going to take a while, because it's going to take her a while to learn this. We tried to warn her. She don't listen. Why does she never listen? We're here to help her. We're not trying to destroy your life. We're trying to make it better. But do you listen? No, you don't listen. Because you think you know better. And then every single time you're like, I didn't listen. I knew I should have, but I didn't listen. And I ventured down that dark alley, which wasn't in Japan. That's the only dark alley you should go down. Go down dark alleys in Japan, nowhere else. And you become this person that feels like, hey, I know better than my gut feeling. When truly, we're like this, and our body's like, hey, I've got all of these senses that I'm trying to steer you. And when I can see everything, you can't see anything, right? So when we're giving you signs, say, Oh, you're going to go across that bridge? Well, guess what? See, a storm just happened and that bridge kind of broke down and you can't go there. So go the other way around. And you're looking at it like, there's a bridge here. This is shorter. Why would I go the other way around? I'm going to go across. Even though your body's telling you, no, 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 don't do it. Do not do it. Like the water, there's so much water coming down. You do not need to go across this because it's going to end up bad. You're like, nah, I'll be fine. The current won't take me away. So you go across it. The current took you away. And down Niagara Falls you go. Because that's how the consequences hit you. And it hits you and it keeps hitting you and it keeps hitting you. And those are the simple ways of learning how to listen to your body. It's your gut feeling and it's your emotions. Don't ignore them because they're there to help you. They are the only thing when it comes to body language inside your own body that you need to start listening to. And once you listen to them more and more and more and more, the less crap you'll walk into because, again, your early detection system is telling you, hey, this don't feel right. Go the other way. And you're like, okay, I'll go the other way. And things work out. But no. You like to think that you know everything. Well, you don't. And until you start trusting those signals that your body is telling you, until you learn to read the cues that your body keeps giving you, and until you understand that language fluently, you'll keep walking into crap. And you'll keep having angry days and wondering why you still have angry days. Do yourself a favor. Quit that annoying job. It's not worth your time. Do something that makes you smile at least once a day. Whenever you're feeling strong emotions, especially anger, it's your body telling you something. So listen. And whenever you have a funny feeling in your gut that's saying, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not worth it. Listen. And yes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because I don't listen most of the times. I won't say most of the times. I've learned to listen more times. And it's like sometimes when it's just like, hey, you should do this. And I'm like, yes, I should do that. And then something else distracts me from doing that. And I'm like, I really should get back and do that. And I don't. I later on regret not doing it. And it's like, oh, I knew I should have did that. Don't be like that. Don't be like that because it's not worth it. So learn to listen to your body. It's a language that you need to understand. Okay? Learn to listen to it. Okay. So now let's play truth or false. So I realize, here's a little boo-boo. I realize that why I kept messing it up and calling it truth or dare is because the actual term is true or false and not truth or false. I don't know where I get truth or false from, but I'm going to stick with it. So we're deep in it, so I'm going to stick with it. So last time, episode 14 on Video Chat with Jody, I shared the story that I was allergic to meat. Now, was that story true or was it false? If you guessed that it was true, then you're right. It happened. It's so weird because I loved eating steak. My favorite food was curry goat and rice and peas. Yeah, it snatched me every time. But one day my stomach was just like, I don't want this. And I kept trying and I kept trying and I kept trying. And my stomach's like, we don't want this. And eventually I had to listen. I had to listen because it was either excruciating pain or no pain. I even had to change the types of vitamins that I was taking, because the vitamin had a specific coating on it, which most of the time it is animal based. If I took that, my stomach would do the same thing that if I ate a piece of steak. And I didn't even know this until my body was reacting to animal products. And I was like, whoa. So I even have to get like vegan supplements in order for this not to happen to me. And it was a complete change. So now that's why I'm very health conscious about the foods that I eat and the types of places that I go out to eat, because you don't know, they be acting, some chefs just add that extra butter and that extra grease or whatever the hell it is, but it's just butter and more butter and more butter. Like a lot of chefs cook with a lot of butter, and I cannot have butter because it's animal based. So if you find out that you're having issues feeling when you're eating meat, and if you find that you don't feel yourself after you eat meat, maybe you should probably try cutting it out and see how you feel after that. Okay? So remember that in order to win the $100 Amazon gift card by Christmas Eve this year, you have to enter your answers in the comments. Tell me whether it was true or false. My story was true or false. Okay? So this week, I have another story for you. So I went to college in New York. And one day I was on the train, and some random person just came up to me, and they were just like talking and just like having a full-on conversation with me. And I'm just like, you do know I can't hear anything that you're saying because I have on headphones, right? And they were like, oh, well, I just assumed that you weren't listening to anything. I was like, wow, that's an assumption. Because I had on one of them Skull Candy big headphones, because I love big headphones, and I love when the sound comes through and it's just like the bass, you have to get the bass. And for somebody to be like, oh, well, I just thought you weren't listening to anything, so I just came over and spoke to you anyways. It's like classic New York. Was that story true? Or was that story false? You'll find out next time on Video Chat with Jody. Okay? Until next time, drink more water, please.